Power on. No smoke. Let's do a check. Let's check the headlight. You won't be able to see this, of course, but I can. Oh, it's not. It wasn't even set to Loco 3. That's weird. Okay, lights. Oh, I see. I'm using the wrong button to reverse the headlights on it. I'm not used to using the Dynamis, so I'm really not comfortable with the controls on, if I'm honest. It'd also help if I had this plug in far enough that... Uh-oh. Shoot. Knew that was too easy. Damn it! I think I just blew it out. Yep, that's it. I just blew the decoder out. What the hell? Oh dear. What the heck happened here then? Something doesn't make any sense here. Oh. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Instead of soldering the wire on here, I hooked it to the wrong section. Oh, ich bin ein Dummkopf. Yes, folks, I guarantee you I do know what I'm doing, but not in this case. I managed to hook the wire into the wrong section. I think I've destroyed this decoder now, but I'm just going to check to make sure. Oh, I hate that. Power on. It might help if I actually plug the wire in, wouldn't it? And put it back on the track correctly. I can't believe I did that. Ugh. All the stupid things. Okay, so that stupid thing here wasn't hooked in right. What I need to do now is basically go back through and reconnect that wire. There it is. Yeah, that works. Woohoo! So the decoder is actually still okay. It just got a little hot there for a second, it looks like. Let me now just check to see if I can make it move back and forth again. Yes! Okay, thank goodness. It didn't get... Luckily, I turned it off quick enough that it didn't damage anything. At least it doesn't look like it. I may have to eventually replace this decoder, which I can always do. That's forward. Let's reverse now. Yes! Okay, so it's still okay. Thank God. Oh, God. Ah! So the decoder did get a little bit warm, but I didn't break anything, it looks like. I just need to now properly connect that wire. I'm doing it now before I lose what's left of my sanity. Let's turn this heating system on, and let's put this back on. Hopefully not go insane. Let me now get this thing up here with some flux. So, this is stupidity, isn't it? I just can't believe I did something. Yeah, I've made that mistake before when I was in grade school and stuff, but the idea I did it now is just something I'm not going to live down. So let me now tin this and attach that wire to it. Now I'm going to just put some Solder on here. Tin that, like so. Next I gotta tin, well, this wire's already still tin, so I should be able to just touch that to it right, and it should go in. Right. Leave it sight. And if I'm speaking German, it usually means I'm having a hard time. Let me grab a plier. Why is it that every last little detail on this thing that should have been easy has been so difficult? Use my plier as a clamp to hold this in position. And there we are. Woohoo! That worked beautifully. Okay, so, wires reconnected. Put the nasty soldering iron away, where it can't burn me. And I will attempt to get this thing back together again. Hopefully this time it will start and it won't smoke. Smoking is obviously bad for your health, but yeah, it's even worse if a decoder smokes. Okay, so I've just insulated that wire. Got that all set. Now I need my shell, which I was in such a panic to take it off before. I don't know where I put it. That's another genius move by me. Ah, there we go. This is a broken shell, so I let it sitting on the floor. Let us go one last time and check to see if this thing will actually work. Once I can confirm I can get everything together here, I will go and probably mess around with the wires more and make them fit better. Alrighty, back together. Please work, please work. Let's try this now. I'm feeling rather lucky, but I really am. If that decoder didn't blow itself, which this works, I'm extremely lucky. No squealing. Oh, it might help if I turned it. Well, I actually had it on. To begin with, I gotta turn the power on. Yep, lights on. That's a good sign. No! Oh! That was not a good move, though. And it's going backwards now, which is not a very good detail. Now, why is this thing running backwards instead? Or is that how I fouled it up? Okay, so for some reason it's going backwards. The headlight is staying on now constantly, but that's fine. That's how these things would have really worked in real life, so I'm just live with that. If that's what I did to the decoder, I can live with that. Here it is. And it's alive! It's not the smoothest running thing, because again, but considering what that motor has been through, and admittedly it's not the original motor, but still. Yep. I will call that a success. I'm hard-earned success. Anyway, there are a few details left, including this shell, and I'll be right back to show you exactly how I'm going to handle that. Okay, now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room that is well left on this project, and that is this charming excuse for a shell that was basically the remnants of what was sent to me. I already knew, obviously, when I bought this that the paint had faded on it to a certain extent because it was handled by a person apparently that had oil on their hands. You can still make out the decaling on it, but it's really weak. Anyway, I could go through a lot of work to basically rebuild this. By hand, draw all kinds, put all the graphics back in it, use a micro brush, all kinds of other stuff to try to restore this paint on it. The only problem is that would keep a psychiatrist employed on me for maybe a few months, and I would probably swear more than Gordon Ramsay does on a common basis because I really stink at art. I like doing little minor detailing stuff. I love painting little details, silver and things like that, but graphics art like this, forget it. And I've tried decaling myself. I stink at it. That's just not going to work. So instead, I'm going to use some magical powers, and in 10 seconds, you will find this engine looking a lot different. Well, you will actually kind of be a little bit more quickly, but, well, you'll see in a second. And so without further ado, let me use my magic powers and magically restore this engine before your eyes. Wow. Well, it took a little bit longer than I was expecting. I have to work on my magical powers a little bit better, I guess. Okay, fine. As you can probably tell, no, that's not exactly what I did. What I did here, basically, in addition to using some camera trickery, is I got this other shell off of another engine I had bought, and as you can see, this is in much better shape. It even has the rear end on it. I basically checked the detailing on it. It meets all my standards. It's all set to go. It even has these nicely painted horns on the top that are painted to match this color roughly. It looks like they put brass horns on this one, whoever this previous owner was. The reason why I didn't just restore this engine is because while it was a running engine, it had the older style metal-sided truck style chassis, which is not good again with DCC, and that can cause problems. Now there is one last detail which some of the more, shall we say, observant of you may have noticed, and that is, what about this wheel set that was not covered when I got it? No problem. Here's one from my part spin, exactly the same part, and it just goes in like so. You just line these two little pegs up into the hole and gently apply pressure to get it in place. And there we have it, all assembled like it should be. Now I still have a horn hook on the back. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this engine from here. I may adjust the install a bit more and go back through it and make sure everything is just how it should be. But before I do anything else, I want to just double check to make sure this thing still works and that the decoder hasn't gotten any ideas. So, turn the power on. Here we go. Runs back and forth. It's still dragging a bit, so I'm going to have to mess around with the fitting on this. But basically, this unit is now complete and ready to work. With the exception of the fact that the headlight is always on. That's something I'm going to have to fix. I guess the easiest way of fixing that is just to replace the decoder, but I'll decide how to handle that in the future. So without any further ado, let me take this apart one last time and do a little bit more tweaking on it. The nice thing about not having sound on this is I can just take the shell off and not worry about it because there's nothing here to worry about dragging. There's nothing to worry about losing there because there's nothing there. Oh, I set the power on here. You know, it might help if I turn that power off, wouldn't it? Stop. There we go. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is remove some of these wires from the harness, or cut them down at least, with the use of a pair of wire clippers. I don't need these wires as they are currently not going to be utilized. This is the backup wire and the Mars light wire. I'm just not going to bother with them, so I'm just going to clip them off like so. I'll leave some of them exposed in case someone wants to try something else with this, but not me. I think I can tuck this wire in right next to the flywheel here, although it'll probably rub a little bit. Let me make sure I can tuck this out of the way so it doesn't get any ideas. The motor itself isn't a problem, it's just the flywheel it can't make contact with. Put it back together again. Let's see if that fixes it. Makes it run a little bit smoother. It was running before, but not quite the way I wanted it to. Kind of tricky to keep this thing on the tracks. Problem is I only have barely enough room to set a test track up on my little improvised workbench here. There it is, power wasn't getting to it. Not the smoothest running thing around, but it does work. Anyway, so I'm going to call this project done. All set to run right now. And keep messing with it maybe a bit more and get some more work out of it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this short little impromptu video on me rescuing and restoring and making this engine work. Have a good evening, and thank you for watching.